And welcome to the Bizniversity broadcast. This is your host, Evie Diaz, strategic growth speaker. And today I am very excited because one of the guest speakers at our Bizniversity Sales Made Easy conference is here with us. So today, if you have any questions, make sure that you get into the chat and ask any questions. As always, I ask you to please tell us a little bit about you, your business, your company. And remember, if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure that you hit the subscribe button so that you can get notified when we go live, and hit the bell. And now it is without further ado that I would love to have you meet one of my newest friends, one of our amazing guest speakers at the Bizniversity Sales Made Easy conference, Greg Williams. Let me go ahead and bring him on.
Am I on yet?
Yes, you are. We have a little background noise.
Okay, yeah, I won't move around. How's that?
Yeah, we still have a little background noise. Let me see if I'm muting myself. Let me see. Mute yourself and let me see if it's you. Yes, come back again. Let's see what's going on, but we'll make it happen. Yes, it seems that we have a little bit of a background noise. We'll make it work, but yeah, there seems to be some type of background noise. I'm not sure exactly why. So what I'm going to ask you is that when you're speaking, leave it on, and when you're not speaking, go ahead and shut it off. So first of all, before anything, let's go ahead and make sure that you move yourself a little bit so that people can see both of us. So let me see if I can. I'll do it like that. There you go. No worries. Okay. So please go ahead and tell us a little bit about you so that people get to know. Let me go ahead and take that background out, which is not working. That's okay. We're live. And so this is what happens, but we'll have an edited video. So please, Greg, tell us a little bit about you.
Well, my moniker is the Master Negotiator and Body Language Expert. And Evie, you just posed a question that no one should try to address until they're sure of what they are answering. So, in a way of just modeling, I'll say, tell me what you'd like to know.
Okay, well, first of all, let me just say that we are hearing a lot of background noise. It seems like there's an ocean or an air conditioner right above you. Do you have an independent mic? Or
that's exactly what I'm using right now.
Yeah.
Hold on, because let me see if I can.
Yes, and if you're joining us while Greg gets his mic all set up, just want to make sure you know that you're here at the Bizniversity live broadcast. And today I have the pleasure and honor of talking to one of our guest experts who is an expert sales negotiator. As you probably read by the description in the YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn page, Greg has been working internationally, helping companies, helping organizations, governments, and individual groups to really learn how to read body language so that they can empower themselves with the tools to positively impact and influence. And as it pertains to what we're talking about, this is extremely necessary when we talk about those of us that want to know how we can sell our solutions, be they speaking engagement, when we're negotiating a speaking contract, or be they a course or a book that we're wanting to sell. And Greg, so let's begin by you sharing with us a little bit about the way which intrigued me that you do your session and the way that you're going to do your session during the Bizniversity Sales Made Easy conference.
Okay, first of all, is the mic cleared up? It is. Okie dokie. Well, you know what? I'll use that as a segue because Evie, There are times when you plan for exactly how you're going to engage any type of environment that you're going to be in, and something will go wrong. So, we are going to discuss how you can negotiate even when you're thrown off track and do so better such that you can increase the outcome that you seek. I use what's known as an interview style presentation, which allows the attendees to really ask questions that are most pertinent to them, and thus they can gain a lot more insight about the negotiation process, along with how to read body language to enhance that process, even in a virtual environment. Now I think you're muted. You're muted. Evie,
Oh,
you're
that is
muted.
so intriguing. I was typing you a message there in our private chat. And that is so intriguing to me because, um, you know, so many times we are not aware of our body language and what our body language is saying about us. So let's come up with a case in point because I think this is so important. So, right now, and actually, let's make this fun because one of the things that attendees are going to experience by participating in our Sales Made Easy conference is fun. So, we want to make sure that you are being entertain while learning. And so the reason for that is, of course, I'm sure by now many of us are tired of just a traditional Zoom. So now let's make this fun by first talking a little bit about my own body language as I was getting a little bit nervous a few minutes ago when we were having technical difficulties with the mic. So what was I portraying when it comes to the nervousness and a little bit of like, uneasiness? So, what are some of those things that we tend to do, be it by our eye movement or our bodies? What are some things that, without giving everything away, because I want people to want to go ahead and register themselves to come and listen to you during our Sales Made Easy conference. But what are some of those subtle things that we sometimes do without realizing that shows that we're a little bit unease or nervous, as I was just a few minutes ago?
Well, it's interesting you say that because while you were really recovering quite nicely after I was trying to adjust for this mic challenge that I was having, I was not watching your body language, but I was listening to exactly what was going on in your environment. And that's yet another way to gain insight into what someone is thinking based on the pace of their speech. Is one thing we'll talk about during the live presentation that you and I will be engaged in, and per body language gestures. Sometimes, if you're observing someone, you can note to what degree they happen to look up and possibly to the left or the right when they're talking. You establish that foundation for how they use certain gestures in a particular situation, and then you can mark exactly how they respond when they are in a more stressful environment. Truth be known, Evie, you were magnificent, but you did show signs of stress because of the texture and tone of your voice. And those are nonverbal aspects of communication that we will discuss, such that you sound more confident when you actually speak, as opposed to, uh, give me a moment, and Evie, you didn't do any of this, by the way. I'll be right. I'll be right. Hey, right back with you, or something like that. So there's signs, verbal signs that you can pick up on, and visual cues that people will emit, and we will talk about a lot of that. And you are going to be so much better when it comes to reading nonverbal signals and body language to enhance your negotiation efforts when you attend live this fantastic event, at which I'll be speaking October the 13th and 14th. So you get a double treat. Well, if you consider that to be a treat.
Yes, it will be a treat. And let me just explain to people before I go and dive a little deeper into what you started saying. Um, on October 13th, 14th, and 15th, we have a 3-day Bizniversity Sales Made Easy Conference. And I have managed to convince Greg Williams to join us for 2 sessions. That's right. He will have a session on Thursday, the 13th, and then one on the 14th. And here's the treat for those of you who sign up today: you'll get to ask to be in the hot seat, or the cool seat, actually, because it's where the cool kids are going to want to hang out. That's where you're going to get an opportunity to have the spotlight on you while you share an instance where you were negotiating, or let's say trying to make a sale, and perhaps you didn't know what happened as a result of you not getting the sale, in terms of you didn't know what went right, what went wrong, what you could have done better to get the sale. Or perhaps you're preparing to give a presentation at one of your top customers, and you want a kind of practice session with an expert. So by visiting Sales Made Easy, and the link, it's right below, bizniversity.com, Sales Made Easy, make sure that you get a VIP pass, because VIP pass holders will get first dibs. And of course, early birds like you are going to get first dibs at asking for one of those 4 spots. That's right. We're only going to have 4 spots, just about. That's 2 in one day and 2 in another. So because the spots are so limited, to get this one-on-one session with Greg while everyone else is watching and learning, you want to make sure that you reserve your spot today. Now, Greg, go ahead. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, see, you picked up on that nonverbal signal. My lips moving without words coming out. No, but seriously speaking, do you mind if I sweeten that deal just a little bit, Evie? How about if you sign up, you will get a free autographed copy of Body Language Secrets to Win More Negotiations. I'm trying to hold this so the camera captures it properly. But how about that as an extra incentive? The question becomes then, what might you do to incentivize those with whom you'll be negotiating with, and you're always negotiating, prior to actually entering into what someone would consider to be the formal negotiation? There are many tricks and techniques that we're going to discuss. So please be there. Please be there. Please be there.
So, you know what? I want to go ahead and ask you something as it pertains to something you shared a few minutes ago. And then what I'm going to do I'm going to ask you to bring the book back and give us a tip from the book, but then I'll remove myself, and then I'll use that later on as an edited version for promotional purposes. But let me ask you something, because today we're talking almost, and really are we, about 2 types of experiences. We have the in-person experience and the virtual. And I'm wondering if they are 2 different when it comes to where you look. Because when you and I were coming on here on this live via StreamYard, you asked me, am I looking at you here or here, right? And so that is one of the first questions I want to ask you. Number 1, is it different in terms of how we share that experience? And then for those that are watching it, or the receivers, let's say we're the salespeople, those that we're wanting to share whatever it is that we're sales presenting to, for lack of better words, are we to look straight at them through the camera? Are we to look always straight at their eyes when we're in person? And how are those 2 different, and how are they the same? Those 2 experiences when it comes to negotiating a sale to close a sale?
Well, the answer is, as it is in most situations, it depends. Let's take the virtual environment first. In a virtual environment, depending upon what you're trying to accomplish, because remember, you're negotiating at that particular point in time, you want to look at the camera when you are serious, or want someone to perceive you as being serious. And if someone makes you a counter offer that is not to your liking, you might actually want to look off camera. The point of doing that is to say, I'm not that interested. Your body language is literally saying, I'm not that interested right now. I'm not even paying that much attention to you. So couple that gesture with the fact that you do not necessarily like an offer that has been presented, and your message becomes amplified by just slightly looking away. Now, let's talk about in person events. When you're in person and you're speaking to someone, you can do several things to actually allow them to become more enamored with you. Oh, I really like that person. Why? Oh, there's something about that person. I'm not sure. Well, what is it? It's the body language gestures that you are emitting that will make someone like you more or less. When you're in an in person environment, you might want to just follow the gestures of the person with whom you're speaking. So they look at you for, let's say, 5 seconds, and then they momentarily look away and look back at you. You might want to mimic those same gestures, 5 seconds away and then looking right back. Why would you want to do that? Because people like people that are like themselves. And that means if you're mimicking that person's gestures, that person sees a reflection of themselves in you. It's one way to really anchor somebody into liking you without them even being aware of the fact that you're doing so.
I like that. And one last thing I'm going to ask you, and that is about smiling.
Mm,
One of my mentors told me when the pandemic began that I needed to smile more. And her voice is always here. And the thing is, sometimes I smile so much that I'm like, okay, is it not there where I should be smiling? But then again, when I watch my videos, I like me smiling because sometimes even if I may not agree or say something, if I pretend that I'm not me, I'm like, the smile helps a lot. So when we're talking about selling, what type of power does the smile, whether it be with the eyes or with the mouth, what type of power and influence does that have?
when you said settling,
Selling, I'm sorry,
oh,
selling.
selling. Okay, because I was going to say settling as in on a deal. When you're selling, it casts a lot of additional insight about your inner feelings. Now, a lot of inner feelings that are cast are natural. A good negotiator, though, now you may have even caught that the tilting of the head momentarily and the eye slightly going up. Those are all signs that you can pick up on. But a good negotiator knows how to project a particular persona to cast additional emphasis to his or her meaning. A smile can be very appropriate at the appropriate time. Someone offers you a deal, once again, that you are not overly enamored with, you can even use a smile in that case to go, like, really? Or the smile can be conveyed as silence. You may have noticed a slight nuance in the difference of my smile. One was ever so wider than the other one, which was closed lip. So even the degree of a smile can cast additional support for whatever persona you're trying to project. Here's the other thing. If by chance you do not wish someone to think that you are just frozen with a smile on your face, make sure that you alter it even to a degree from time to time, such that you give additional credence to the offer that they have made or that you have made to give more importance to one over another.
Wow. Wow. That is so cool. You know, it's interesting to me because I've always put a lot of emphasis on the written content
Mm.
because what I teach is how to create content that converts. And hearing you now talk about the importance and the impact
Mm.
of the verbal and the non-verbal body cues. It's just like, wow. You know, I had not been totally aware. I know that when I watch videos of myself, sometimes I'm like, oh, I look ugly there.
Never.
That's what I say. But you know that I haven't been very mindful with this
Mm.
and the importance. And the psychology is what I'm hearing. Am I right to call it the psychology?
It definitely is just that. You hit the whole nail on the whole head with that one, Evie, for daggone sure. Because think about something. There have been some studies that have indicated up to 85% of our communication is carried via our body language as opposed to the words we use to actually speak about what we are experiencing, feeling, offering, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So if up to as much as 85% of our body language is being used to convey our messages, my gosh, one should really be much more aware of the body language signals they emit, right? And therein lies the psychology of it all.
I'm writing that one down. Let me see. 85% of our communication comes through our body language. And I
Mm.
put, what message is your body communicating?
Whoa.
That is powerful.
Mm.
And, I want to remind those that are watching that we are listening to expert speaker Greg Williams, who will be speaking at the 2022 virtual live Bizniversity Sales Made Easy Conference on October 13th through the 15th. He is doing 2 sessions with us where 4 of you are going to have an opportunity to have a one-on-one similar to what I'm doing here with him today, while everyone's watching and learning the tips that he's going to share with you to help you be more effective on your sales presentations, be them virtual, live, like we are now on Zoom perhaps, or in person. So you do not want to miss it. Now, I know, Greg, that you just surprised me by sharing your book and by sharing that you will be offering, I believe you said, those 4 people that get the opportunity to sign up today and be among the hot seats, or as we called it before, the cool kids.
Mhm.
You will gift them with one of your books. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take myself off the camera and ask you to please tell us a little bit about the book and give us one tip from the book, and then kind of leave us with a sound bite that we can use as a constant reminder throughout the conference when it comes on October 13th of one of your main messages. Would you do that for us?
I definitely will for sure. And here we go. Again, this is the book, Body Language Secrets to Win More Negotiations. Here's the point: the body never lies. That means the body always wants to stay in a state of comfort. And thus, when the body is out of that state of comfort, it will do something. You will manifest some action, be it scratching the side of your head, rubbing your hands together, doing other things to bring your body back into a state of comfort. During our session and time together, we're going to discuss exactly what are some of those signs that you should observe that will indicate to what degree you are connecting with someone, to what degree they are following you, to what degree you may want to follow them to entice them to take advantage of the offer that you are actually presenting to them. And here's the sound bite: you're always negotiating, and your body enhances that process. Make sure you join us on October the 13th through the 15th, because if you will be there, you will be a better salesperson, you will make more sales, and you'll learn how to close more deals.
Ooh, I love that. Let me go ahead and get that soundbite because that has to go on social media. You are always negotiating?
Hey, I said it as a came. You're always negotiating, and your body is always enhancing the negotiation process.
Oh my
Find out
goodness.
why and how.
I absolutely love that. Well, Greg, I want to say thank you. Thank you for joining us here live. Thank you also for saying yes to the Bizniversity Sales Made Easy conference. I know that when I was talking to you before we went on live, and I actually shared with you 2 actual real life case stories.
Mhm.
One was me, And when you told me how I could have done something different, it just blew my mind. So I know that attendees at this year's Bizniversity Sales Made Easy conference are going to be discovering what they have been doing perhaps not so right, and then replacing it with some of those magnificent and powerful tips that you are sharing with us on how we may say something, and also how what we don't say is saying something too.
You're right. The unspoken word speaks voluminously.
Absolutely. So I want to thank you so much. And like I said, please make sure to visit bizniversity.com, Sales Made Easy. Remember to get your early VIP pass, because by doing so, you will be among those that will get perhaps the opportunity to be among the 4 people that will get an opportunity to actually talk one on one and have a session, if you will, where you will be able to either plan a future sales presentation, or perhaps maybe you'll be able to go through a presentation you did in the past. So, once again, thank you so much, Greg. I appreciate you, and I am so looking forward to having you join us on October 13th at the Bizniversity Sales Made Easy Conference. Thank you.
Thank you, Evie. See all of you on the 13th through the 15th of October.
Thank you.